Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is Francis Mazi short it, your director always. Today I'll be exploring, we'll be diving into what went down at the Miss Universe Nigeria 2024. My side of things. Yes, that's the title, My Side of Things. Yes, so I'll be walking you through everything I did and what role I played before, during, and after the Miss Universe Nigeria 2024 and everything in between. Stay tuned. Yeah. Miss Universe Nigeria, as you all know, this was the second installment of that pageant. Initially, the first time it came was last year, and now this year. Last year, this pageant broke out from Most Beautiful Girl Nigeria pageant, the MBGN Big Body pageant. So it was split into two, Miss World Nigeria and Miss Universe Nigeria. So for Miss Universe Nigeria, this is the second installment of it. And boy, I worked my ass off. Bro, by the time I was done, my legs were shaking. No kidding. But let's start from the beginning. So first off, we called for screening. Yeah, we had screening in-house. So we called for screening and people to apply. Was a general application, went on air and on TV and on social media. And we had a lot of people come in to be part of the Miss Universe Nigeria. A lot of contestants wanted to be part of the pageant. And it was a mix of everybody. Tall, short, big, slim. We had all kinds of people come in, and it was quite an experience. So starting out from the day of the screening. Now, my side of things, I was in charge of making sure that, okay, all of the individual voting videos, the application videos that the contestants sent were harvested from online, prepared and ready for physical and online screening. So we started off with the online screening, where we screened down a whole lot of these people into a sizable number that we can handle physically. Because bear in mind that a lot of persons came all the way from the US. Some people came from Canada. Some people came from Abuja. Some people came from Port Harcourt to Lagos. So it was, we're trying to downsize it to a capacity we can handle. And remember, we were only looking out for 25 ladies for this year. And sorry, we're looking for 24 ladies this year. And for some reason, the pageant decided to, cut down from the regular 37 ladies to 24. So we're out for 24 beautiful women to represent different states of the federation. And we started out by inviting them for physical screening. You know how that people send in their pictures and videos online, and you don't get to see their full body look, and with a lot of portraiture and softwares these days, person will not fine, feel fine. You know how it go. So we have to see them physically, and that's the reason why we insist on doing a physical screening, where we get to screen them, body marks, tattoos, and all. Yeah, even though Miss Universe is a lot more embracing, it's a lot more accommodating. They don't have issues with tattoos anymore, or they want girls of all color, all races, all sizes. So it was it's a general fit all kind of pageant. The ladies showed up looking magnificent. Some of these ladies, very outspoken, well spoken, well brought up, well trained. A lot of them especially those of them from the Western world. You know how it is. A lot of cultures and all. So it was a lot of work for us to do. So screening. So on the very day of screening, we had over 60 persons in the house, and we're supposed to screen them down to 24. It was a Herculean task. I was saddled with making sure that the entire production runs smoothly. Also, from setting up of the hall for the screening to making sure that the judges or the panelists were right on time and making sure that they were comfortable. Those were my jobs. And I made sure that the ladies were also comfortable. As soon as they came in, we had a reception for them. We had a lot of receptionists that brought them in, made sure that they were fine, gave them a changing room, because of the bikini wear and all, and the bikini part of the screening, because we needed to see what they look on swimwear as well. So we start out with physical screening. The physical screening is you just walk in, talk to the mic, tell us about yourself, what you do, and what you represent. And a few questions here and there come in, and you are supposed to answer. The idea is to test their confidence level. The other is also to test their eloquency and their stage composure. If you are frightened, if you are fidgety, then it just might not make it to 24. Yeah, so we screened down, and when it now came down to the physical, the body screening, which is the swimwear, that went down as well. We had the girls come in on their swimwear, walk around, show us their catwalk skills, and of course, show us what they've got in terms of body shape. Though it's a beauty pageant, it's not choir practice. So you have to show something. You have to look the part. If you don't look the part, you will depart from us. Don't leave me. But yeah, that's it. So the ladies came through, and eventually, by the end of that exercise, 24 ladies emerged, and they were congratulated, given their sashes, and they're prepared for camping. We thought an average person would think that's where the matter ends, but that's where the matter starts, because from that point on, the real work begins for us, the production crew. Yes, need to add the fact that you're not representing your state of origin. You are a delegate of any state we assign to you. So at random, or based off on some criteria, we randomly shared states across board, such that you, as an Igbo person representing some northern state, you're supposed to go learn from the state, be part of the state. It's also a means of making you submerge yourself into the Nigerian culture. So for some Anambra ladies who would now represent Kwara State, so you are supposed to now go find out about Kwara people, what they like, the kind of food, and properly represent them as a delegate at the national stage. So, and that's the rationale behind having different tribes represent different regions. So, yeah, we assigned states to them, and they did a voting video saying where they represent, what they stand for, what the state slogan is about, and what they intend to do with the crown. Bro, that's where the work is. Because these girls, they will start and they will have a mistake. They will not make a mistake like I just did now, and we'll start all over again, and we'll shoot again, and we'll start all over again. Baba, by the time I was done with that video, I needed an ambulance. I swear down. My leg. This is my leg. Egbami. I didn't know who sent me work. Nasiva bed, actually. Yeah. So after the voting videos are done, the headshots is done. So the headshot is like the portrait that the ladies use as their voting picture or their headshot. So these headshots are uploaded on our social media platform, where people get to say, oh, okay, I know this person. This person is presenting she's part of this. Oh, I'll vote for her. So that also takes a little while, but that's not on us, because a photographer is outsourced solely for that. And after the entire voting video, this is the very day of the screening. So after this whole thing is done, 2 days later, all of these things are uploaded up on the net and published, which we call the unveiling. And the unveiling is that day where we unveil to the world our 27 or 24 or 37, be it number, whatever number it is, candidates to the world to see. Yeah, that's the first time the world gets to know some of them. And a little of their bios are put up on our website, on our social media, and everywhere. So you get to know your contestant, you get to know your delegates. Unveil, largely. Yes. So after unveil, we have a little lag or a little break while they go to prepare for camping. This usually lasts between 3 to 4 weeks at the max, and they are back for the camping. See that camping? Now die. I swear down. So the camp usually it's a 2 weeks-ish, 10 days to 14 days period where we get to prepare the ladies for the event. So the camping generally will constitute them coming in, staying through, and learning every etiquette and nuances of being a queen. Now, being a queen is a Herculean task. For some of them, they are damn right street ladies. Yeah. Remember, I told you earlier that come as you are. If you are street, show up. As long as you pass the screening, you fit the criteria, show up. And that's where we now beat you to shape. Not necessarily beat you. I mean, like mold you to shape. That's it. So camping begins with orientation. People from all walks of life, they come in with their bag luggage. So you packed for the entire period. You're not just packing for one event. After our screening, we had our 24 persons. And here comes this brouhaha from South Africa. It was just making everywhere, was just bubbling. There's this Nigerian girl, Chidimma Adetshina, and she was this. They did this to her, blah, blah, blah. It was just everywhere. And the pageant thought it wise, as good Nigerians that we are, to reach out to this girl. You know what? Come home. We'll admit you. That came with a lot of mixed feelings, to be very honest. Because this is a lady that hasn't been into this country before. This is a lady that didn't grow up here. Our cultures are different. Had all our life in South Africa. And lo and behold, she accepted to be part of the pageant.
And I say this with great excitement because I have decided to participate in the Miss Universe Nigeria 2024 beauty pageant. Now, I understand the expectations and responsibilities that come with this title, and I am so excited to embark on this journey. And I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to participating in Africa's most prestigious beauty pageant, Miss Universe Nigeria.
And that changed the dynamics of the entire pageant. We knew that we don't buy markets. And we had to, gear up for the market we just bought. So the international community pressures were so much. The pressures were so much. There was a lot of pressure. And everybody wanted to see this girl that's coming from South Africa. Who is this girl? That is at the heart of this xenophobic attack and, rejection from South Africa. And it's coming to Nigeria. So the day she landed at the airport, a lot of media houses were there. So how do we manage this such that the other 24 ladies don't feel some sort of left out? That became the biggest task that we had to undertake as production crew. Because every single attention you give towards her end makes one other girl a little bit more vulnerable. Or so they thought. Yeah, so eventually Chidimma joined us in camp. Typically I would think you think she will come with coming from South Africa and all of the ego and all. But nothing happened. She just blended in. Subtle, quiet, kind, affectionate, open arms. She just blended in. And that surprised a whole lot of us. I was in camp. So I'm telling you first-hand experience of what went down in camp. And the ladies too were very accommodating. Surprisingly to all of us, they welcomed her with open heart. And that speaks to the spirit of a Nigerian. We Nigerians are Nigerians anytime, any day. Forget the tribal squabbles going around. When push comes to shove, Nigerians will always be Nigerians. So these ladies opened their arms and welcomed Chidimma Adetshina. We had series of activations by companies and sponsors. Notable is Chantal and Skin White that got a lot of media hype because a lot of people were like, why would they bring a bleaching cream to an African woman? Oh, guy, you don't know what you are saying. Skin White is the name of the cream. Does not mean that it turns people to white. I've been using it too. I've not turned to white. This is my skin. I'm still the brown, the way I am. So Skin White is actually the name of a cream. I'm saying it clearly that it's not a toning screen, a cream or any of that. It's just a company that supported our brand, supported what we were doing with Silverbird brand. Yeah. So, and the boss just kept going, oh, this, oh, that. But you know what? You know, when they keep talking about you, it keeps making the soup sweeter. So the more they talked about it, the more people wanted to find out, and the more viewership we had, and the more pressures we had. Yeah, so activations happened, the companies came through, and the ladies were really, really drilled. A lot of them got to be exposed to a lot of things, even physical activities like trainings, taekwondo, and some sort of exercises that they've not been opportune to attend. And it was really a well spent 10 days in camp. Thanks to our host, the Festival Hotel and Spa in Festac Mall. Those guys were amazing. Their food is phenomenal. If you are looking for a place to be, go there and chill out. They sure got you covered. And they did get us covered. The ladies had a swell time there. We had a beautiful pool around where we can, chill out in the evenings and all. And, it was a mix of a lot, work and play. And, if you are working and you can't play, change your work because you will soon die of your vein when they come off from your eye. Just change your work. Work is supposed to be fun. So when you're not enjoying what you're doing, then just know that you're doing what you should not be doing. Yeah, so after the entire camping period, with all of the activations and all of the trainings, truth be told, the ladies were stretched, almost stretched to a reasonable extent. You also have to be careful not to strain them because, like the physics is, when we cross over, when we strain them, then you know what they say about tensile stress versus tensile strain. If you're a physicist, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so we didn't strain them, and thank God, eventually the D-Day finally came, which is the event proper. Now, for the event, my side of things, I was in charge of the red carpet. I was in charge of the backstage. I was in charge of the stage itself. I was in charge of everything that was played on the screen. I was in charge of the red carpet host. I was in charge of the main event host. I was in charge of making sure that every camera was working. I was the stage runner, producer, and backstage manager, and red carpet producer and manager. This is a lot. All this for me. Backstage, I had my director, Mr. Moses, who was on the Obi-Van and was calling the shots, but I had to make sure that the stage and the production was running. That was the hardest task of this entire movement. Making sure that these things were running was huge task, was huge responsibility, and one that didn't come lightly, to be very honest. Yeah, so when we kickstart, first of all, to make sure that the red carpets were ready, Eco Hotel had devised a new means and says no more using woods around the walkway. They now had these iron bars all the way about 100 and 520 feet walkway. And we had to fill it up with the pictures of all the ladies. So the Herculean task of getting the brands to print some of these ladies and paste it and make it look beautiful and make it a beautiful aisle where they can literally take selfies was one of the biggest things we did a day before the event. Because a day before the event, I had to leave the camp to make sure that the venue for the event was set. So I started out by making sure that all of the walkways were done and dusted on time for us to begin at 6. The red carpet was supposed to start at 6. I remember I told you I was the red carpet producer as well. Of course, I had help, Ifeanyi, was also on the floor to help me with the red carpet, but majorly to make sure that everything was working. Thank God for some of the brands that had their activation on the red carpet. It made it a lot bubbly. It made it like a market. So you literally walk into the red carpet. You had different experience centers from different vendors. And I was also in charge of making sure that a company stays where we marked out for them. I marked out some of these spaces and made sure that they were comfortable in where. And I think one of the biggest things is to be able to, negotiate with clients when it comes to, I want to stay here. I want my banner to be here. You will think that is a cheap work until you get down with it. Any little thing, one client will get angry, the other one will say, I won't agree. If you don't give me this, I will go elsewhere. Kaza. And before you know it, a show is ruined. So it requires tact, it requires a good negotiation skills, and a bit of sweet mouth, which you already can testify that I have. Yeah. And so, to the glory of God, the red carpet started at when we should have, and everything worked out smoothly. Thanks to our big media support. So for the second time, Team 33, which is our media partners, came through for the main event. Team 33 came through for the main event. Yeah. And what I like about those guys is their efficiency. Those guys are professionals to the core. Like, when they say they come for something, they actually do come for it. I dove my heart to those guys, Team 33. They were really, really wonderful. Their setup time was way early. Like, I was like, what are we doing it today? They were ready and on ground. And thanks to the stage, the vendor, Nelson Jack, stage and light, and of course the sound, everything was literally ready before the time. So we had our first dress and tech, our technical rehearsals by 3 p.m. in the afternoon, as against the show showing up by 6 p.m. So by 3 p.m. we had our final rehearsals. Of course, we'll be having series of rehearsals on the stage from 10 a.m. from the night before, but by 3 p.m. we had our general rehearsal where everybody came together, both the presenters and anchors. We had a full rundown of the entire event. One of the hardest things is to, if you're not setting up a day before your event, literally paying for a day extra, making sure that your event is set before 3 p.m. is one of the hardest things to do. And thank God to the resilience of our camera units, our sound department guys, the media partners, Team 33, and Nelson Jack and his boys. Everything was ready by 3 p.m. and we did our sound check. Now, working with the hosts. The host for this year's event was Victor Wilson, and of course, my friend. I mean, who will be the second host? Now, working with the event host, Anthony Abraham and Victor Wilson. These are guys I've worked with in the office for nearly 5 to 6, 7 years now. And we kind of have a bond. They already understand what I want, and we already rehearsed and talked about their angles, their exit and introduction points, and how they come in and how they exit the stage. So it was pretty seamless. These people made it so seamless, even though backstage was a madhouse. Having to put together a show and be a showrunner is the hardest part of show. You don't want to know what is going down behind the scene. And literally we run from one backstage to the other. Because there was a time our talkbacks failed, because these things happen even on very big budget productions. Sometimes the talkbacks fail and the showrunner is left at the mercy of actually literally running. That's why they call it showrunner. Yeah. So he's left at the mercy of actually running, and actually ran severally. I can't count what went down. I can't even begin to explain to you the backstage. It's better imagined than even talked about. To be very honest, it was a beehive, because everybody that would have to get on the stage the very next minute have to be behind the stage, and you have to literally go find them from the audience and bring them back on the stage. And for some reason, because some of these people were participants for the event, they also came to enjoy the event. So you can't just have all of them file backstage to They also are part and they are participating. They are willing participants for the production itself. They just volunteer to be part of your backstage. So it was literally a lot of work having to run to the audience, get somebody and run backstage. Say, okay, come do this, come through with this, do this, even though it was all planned already. So, but it was also a whole lot trying to, juggle between those tasks. And did I say we did a fine job? It's up to you to decide. The show came and it was beautiful. By the end of the show, Providence, Chidimma won. Some people said it was Juju or Pasha. It's their opinion. But for us, we had a lady that was decent, that understood what it means to be a queen, that was very kind, that was very tolerant, that didn't understand any Nigerian language, but calmed down to learn, like immersed herself into trying to genuinely figure out, all of these things. And and she checked all of the boxes, and the judges kind of took a liking to her, and the voting also skyrocketed her into, top five and all. So generally, it seemed that heaven and earth agreed to make her queen. Who are we to say no? And that's how she emerged as the winner of the Miss Universe Nigeria